Hey, what is going on, everybody? I am here just taking me a little art break in between work. I'm here doing wood floors, but it is about time for me to get some new batches of epoxy jewelry put together. I said that I all like, well, listen, mm, like because I've always been an artist, right? I wanted to make jewelry at a point in time in my life, and I remember telling somebody how I always wanted to be a jeweler, and they said, you know what, that seemed like something you would do. So I started with wood, tried to put together wood jewelry. Only problem with wood is that it's not that easy to mass produce wood jewelry. Like all of that stuff need to be made piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. It is so hard, man. You see somebody with some wood jewelry, somebody really put their heart and soul into that one piece, and it probably ain't gonna be another piece exactly like it. I guarantee you. I've been there. So I've been into epoxy jewelry um, almost a year, but I never actually tried to pursue it. It was just something I like. It was like one of my courses of study along with woodworking because wood and epoxy, they kind of go hand in hand. And it's like here recently, I just said to myself, man, why don't you just do it? Like, just see what it would turn out to look like. And so I started with rings, and I've been really, really loving rings. So now I'm getting ready to get into. Now, actually, I started with necklace charms. I just couldn't find bead molds, but I got to order those off Amazon. And I was trying to prevent that. I was hoping it was a store nearby, like a craft store I could go to. Nah, you got to special order those, man. So, yeah, the rings are actually going pretty good. They're actually pretty fun. I have one right now that I just made called The Color of Earth. Um, so all of them are going to be themed. They're going to have a system as far as how you get that color, what colors go with it, like exact precise systems on what colors go with it, because they're all going to come out in themes. And I'm going to have like matching necklaces and different kind of charms you could put with it. Then I'm going to get some molds custom ordered, like custom ordered molds for certain people that want their stuff, they want a custom look, to a necklace charm and everything like that. So everything is going to come out in sets. Right now I have The Color of Earth, which is blue, green, white, and brown, like a tan, but I actually went with gold. It's still pretty much the same color, it's just not the same color. But I thought gold would be better than some kind of tan. So then I'm getting ready to do I think I'm just getting ready to make a solid pearl white. I think a solid pearl white is something that I don't have any solid color rings except the first batch, the black and gold ones I made, and some of them just turned out black because I didn't have enough gold. And yeah, they're my only solid colors. And one of those black silver rings, well, the black is mixed with silver, so that's why I call it black silver. Then it has gold. One of those black rings are my own personal ring. And then I've got one of the mermaid looking ones. I call it mermaid. It reminds me of some kind of mermaid. Someone told me to reproduce that set because I know exactly what colors went with it. I can reproduce the mermaid, or I can go with a white pearl. But I'm not really here to talk about epoxy resin. I just thought I might give you some kind of little overview about why I'm even up here in the first place. As I think of what color I want to go with, let's go ahead and go for it. So we get ready to reach a time when the real believer is getting ready to be such an odd man out in this world. It's crazy. Almost every political everything in this world is pointing against the real, true believer. Almost everything the world stands for is slowly but surely putting the real, true believer out of the system, right? And here's some things you really can't afford, right? You can't afford to be somebody who think that the gospel don't take all that. Because if the righteous scarcely make it, then where shall the sinner and ungodly appear? And if the righteous barely get in, then you don't have time to be trying to figure out, how you can hold up a lesser standard. Because it take more than all that. It take way more than all that. It take way more than what I can make it sound like. It take way more than what your preacher can make it sound like. Because at the end of the day, the standard is Jesus. And we have all fallen short of the glory of God probably almost every day of our life. And we don't got time for a gospel that make it sound like it really just don't take all that. Now, in some ways, it really don't take all that. In a lot of ways, people just do too much. I ain't gonna lie. Like, in a lot of ways, people incorporate a lot of religion into the gospel, and they always worried about what they can do, rather than who they can become. I'll say that again. They always worry more about what they can do rather than who they can become. But the gospel is about an organic change inside of a man or a woman. The gospel is here to grow you and make you like Jesus. And of course, you're going to have some people in your life, who make you out to sound like you full of the devil and all of that kind of stuff. But you know what, though? When the Antichrist get here, he going to make real believers sound like they full of the devil, too. And he going to be the devil himself. He going to be the devil himself, making everybody else ought to be the devil, right? But that don't negate that there's going to be people full of the devil. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't negate that. That don't negate the fact that you still going to be able to identify some people in this world as full of the devil. All because I'm saying that don't mean you just data dump all of that, because all of that stand true as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, man, you want to be such a different kind of Christian. All this time, Christianity hasn't done anything for the world. And I'm talking about social entity and church entity, not real believer stuff. It hasn't done anything for the world. You really don't see miracles happen like that. I mean, we could pretend like we do, but we really don't. I mean, yeah, they could, put it on TV like it's real, but it really ain't. Like all of these people you see, asking for money to cast out a demon, that's crazy. Jesus, he did that at the expense of his own self. Heck, if I gotta spend money to cast out a demon, I would. I wouldn't be asking for money to do it. I'd spend money to do it. Why? Because it's the work of the Lord. And nothing compares to just knowing you fulfill the will of God. Right? Don't nothing in this world do. All right, so yeah, I'm going with a nice, solid, silver glitter, white pearl. Man, something been telling me to just go ahead and do something like that. Like, because you're going to get them people that ain't all into bright colors and all of this kind of stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And then when I get my bead molds and my custom molds for my necklace charms, I'm going to make sure I remember all the different things that I made. But man, like, you're gonna get some people out here in this world who pretend like they do the work of God, and really it's just the work of themselves. Like, it's just the work of themselves. It's for subscribers. If they didn't have the subscribers, they really wouldn't be on YouTube as frequently as they do. If they wasn't raking in money, they wouldn't be doing what they doing. Like if it wasn't about a job and a career, they wouldn't really be on this for real. Heck, I do this and I get 5 views every day. I do, like, heck, man, like I do what get put on my heart. I get 5 views. That should have broke me a long time ago, but it don't, because I don't do this for people. I do this for the Lord. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you want to really cultivate a point of view in what you do like that, because if you don't do this for the Lord, then like you're gonna be one of the main people justifying or spiritualizing your way into taking the mark of the beast, making it sound like, well, it's got to be the will of God, because I mean, just think about everybody, right? But think about everybody who went and man, I can't even say the word, because just saying the word would get me shadow banned. But think about somebody, like think about everybody who made it sound like the will of God for them to take certain injections or whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it was evil for you to do that, but it was so evil. I mean, it was so easy for people to just believe that that this is what God wants me to do, because without this, I can't travel to preach here or there. Or without that, I won't be able to travel to preach here or there. Or without that, I won't be able to travel to preach here or there. It's going to be a whole nother instance like that, and this time it's going to be your soul on the line. Man, should I add a drop of white? I think I'm going to add a drop of white. Just a little smidget of a drop of white. Just a little taste of a white. But yeah, like this time it's going to be your soul. But they've been working us toward the mark of the beast all our lives. Our whole lives. Everything everything that's incorporated into this world has been working us toward the mark of the beast. And every time something new come out, you get somebody say, that's the mark of the beast. Well, it could be a precursor to it, but the mark of the beast has a lot of things attached to it. Such as worshiping the beast, denying Christ. Like, the Bible said that he's going to cause, not force, but cause. But meaning that this is going to be something people want or feel like they need. But be made to feel like they need. Do it out of necessity. Like, it's going to start off like that. And some people, it's going to be forced. You either deny Christ or you lose your life. And what are you going to do? If all the work you've been saying that you've been doing for the Lord was all about yourself, like it was all about growing a monument to yourself, watching your subscriber count grow, then that's setting you up for failure right there. Like right there, that's setting you up for failure. All about the subscribers, all about trying to put on a show for the people. All right, I try not to heat it up too much, because the more I heat it up, see, I should be wearing a respirator, but I'm here making a video. It's all about putting on a show for the people. Like, it's all about growing a fan base, all about a cult, a cult-like following. It's all about being made to be the important one in front of people. I couldn't be anybody in the world, so I had to be somebody here. I had to use gospel stuff to try and be somebody, because I couldn't be anybody in the world. All of that stuff is going to point you right to the beast, believe it or not. And you want to be such a different kind of person that everybody, like very few people can relate to you. Very few people can sit and eat with you, like, and actually have real, like, real fellowship with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like Jesus ate with sinners, but he ain't he ain't become one with them. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people use that Jesus ate with sinners as a way to stay in sin. Oh, well, if Jesus ate with sinners, that means I'm allowed to still be a sinner, and Jesus is gonna come eat with me. And Jesus know my heart, but you know what Jesus also know? He know his word too. Yeah, he know your heart, but he also know his word. If you do not have the Spirit of God, you are none of his. You need to make sure you seek in the Lord for the Holy Ghost. Like that should be one of the first things you do coming into the gospel is seeking the Lord for the Holy Ghost. Because without that, then you don't have proof of being purchased. But like he is your proof of purchase, the Bible says. And it also says you will know them by their fruits. You don't know them by anything other than their fruit. Out of the same mouth that say the devil can show up for church every Sunday is the same devil showing up for church every Sunday. You know, people say that because it sounds good. People say that because it gets the people going. It sounds deep. But do you really take that serious? Are you the devil that show up every Sunday? And I ain't saying because you show up every Sunday that means you the devil. I don't show up at church every Sunday. Not every Sunday. Man, but all I'm saying is, man, like the world is getting closer and closer and closer to it being time. But everybody don't believe this because they expect to see a rapture take place first. Well, if the rapture don't happen first, then that means this isn't going to happen. Like, man, listen, if the Bible don't tell you it happened in that order, then then you just can't bank on that, right? Like how is it that out of the same mouth that say don't listen to YouTube preachers is the same person that's getting a theology from Hollywood movies? If we don't see a rapture, then there's no Antichrist. The Bible don't say that. Like it don't even make it seem that way. I don't know where people get that from. That's going to be the reason why some people justify their way into taking the mark of the beast. Well, there is no rapture, or at least I didn't make the rapture. So I mean, maybe the rapture wasn't real if it is. Well, we didn't see a rapture, so this couldn't be the mark of the beast. Yeah, but you're also denying Christ. But you're also worshiping the beast and taking the number of his name. A lot of stuff, man. And sadly, in the book of Acts, it was the religious crowd who hated people preaching Jesus. But they all cared about what the Romans thought, what the government think about what we doing. But, you know, but we got to obey the laws of the land, says the Bible. What, at the expense of your soul too? Well, God wouldn't put us in that position. Yes, he would. Yes, he would. Do not fear the one who can destroy the body. Instead, fear the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell. Do not fear the one who can destroy the body. Instead, fear the one who can destroy both body and soul in hell. In hell. Man, see, the gospel involves change, man. Change. A whole lot of change is involved in the gospel. Like, what do you think born again is all about? But see, some people think just getting baptized is being born again. That ain't true. Like that's not all there is to it. But being baptized is no indication of being born again. That's no indication of being saved. That's no indication of being saved at all. And in this time, you need to know that you know, but that you believe. But see, the gospel ain't about what you know. It's about who you know. I'll say this again. The gospel ain't about what you know. It's about who you know. I'll say this again. The gospel ain't about what you know. It's about who you know. The gospel ain't about the people you know. It's about knowing God wholeheartedly. Having a deep and real relationship with the one who you say saved your soul. Every time somebody asks you, do you know the Lord? Yes, but you don't talk to him. But do you know the Lord? Yes, but you don't pray to him. You don't do none of that, but you say you know the Lord. But how can you know somebody you don't even communicate with on a regular basis? And how can you communicate with him on a regular basis except you have his spirit living inside of you? But with the Spirit of God living in me, I can talk to God all day long. I mean, that don't mean I'm going, get an answer about everything or, hear from him all day or anything like that. But he always, as long as I pray according to his will, he always in some way, shape, or form let me know that he heard me. But we always want proof. Show me the proof. Well, you just got to first believe. If you don't believe, you ain't getting it. But he said a wicked and adulterous generation seeks a sign. Is that what you want to be? A wicked and adulterous generation just for you to get a sign? And the Antichrist is going to do signs and wonders. And the false prophet is going to do signs and wonders in sight of the beast. In sight of the beast. That Bible said that the mark will be in your right hand or in your forehead. This ain't about a tattoo. No, this is in. Be careful about things that go in you. That goes for a microchip. That goes for an injection. That goes for all of that. Because a lot of that stuff is here to just change your DNA structure. So that way, you can't be a candidate for heaven. Because Jesus only died to save people. Men and women and children. But other than that, y'all, that's pretty much it, man. I don't got a whole lot to say today. Actually, I do, just not in this video. I'll catch y'all on the next one, though. Peace. Wait a minute. I gotta make sure this all filled up before it starts drying out on me. And I ain't got enough to proceed with a whole new one, so that's done. But let me show y'all something, though. Yeah, those are my color of earth ones. That the top of it, what you see, most of that's gonna end up cut off. And so really the actual look is on the inside of it. You can barely see it from the top, but that's kind of what I'm doing. That's some leftover drips from the last batch I did. So I'm gonna probably be here for a little longer. I got a couple more molds left for another batch. The other side of that mold, I don't use those anymore because the ring's just too bulky. The eye has got like a diamond cut shape. But I'm gonna show you the one I got though. Yeah, this is my gold and black baby. I love it. It's a little tight, but I find it to be all right. I mean, it just look a little tight. And then when my hands get cold, it don't really
look that way. But yeah, I haven't. Oh, I got cut. But yeah, it's just a little smaller. But it's all good though. And I just got a new in too for all my stuff, all my all my colors, all my pearls, my glitters, more glitters, little epoxy resin tools, and cups, popsicle sticks, that paintbrush coming out because I'm gonna use that. And then what I'm gonna have to do very soon is get like a whole nother separate organizer bin for all my jewelry making modes. So man, I love making resin jewelry. I really, really do. Like, man, it's something I always wanted to do. I just never did. I don't know why. Sometimes you just need to get in that place of peace in order to really sit down and and realize your potentials. You know, I mean, a lot of people make resin jewelry, but everybody don't have the same artistic point of view. You know, so when I start getting my beaded necklaces and my custom molds made and all that other stuff, y'all gonna see something cool. Y'all gonna see something real nice. Real nice. The first people I'm hooking up though, the first person I gotta hook up is my daughter, because she was helping me out with this stuff. Man, it's dark in here. Yeah, my daughter, man, she was one of the main candidates that was actually coming through to help me out with a lot of this. So I'm gonna make sure I hook her up first, make sure she get hers, and yeah, just kind of get her out the way, you know. But yeah, this floor, I'm actually this floor. I didn't get a chance to rent a drum sander yet, but I was gonna try and avoid it if I could, and just ran with the belt sander. Bought the sandpaper for the belt sander, but this middle part here is a shellac coating, and shellac, all it does is this right here. This is why I don't like doing floors with a shellac coating, because it's got to be stripped. It all just sticks to the sandpaper. It doesn't actually sand. That's a big problem there. But all right, y'all, just make sure y'all keep an eye out, man. The beast is on his way. Israel is at war. A lot of end time prophecies are being fulfilled, and everybody just living in the bubble. Everybody just living in their own bubble while end time prophecies are being fulfilled right before our eyes. Everybody's caring too much about things of this world. Heck, I mean, in a way, you gotta care about some things of the world, but how much of it do you have? I mean, like, how much of it has you, and is any of it wicked or evil? You know, not everything in this world is inherently evil. Like growing a garden, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that's a worldly thing, but is it evil? You know, starting a business, that's a worldly thing, but is it evil? Going and watching a movie, that's a worldly thing, but is it evil? Is it wickedness? Like, you know, like, we need to really sit down and prepare and get ourselves straight, man, because we don't know how tribulation and rapture and all that stuff is going to work out. We really don't know. We need to be prepared for any possibility. Any possibility. I don't talk about anything extreme as far as like what is and what ain't when it comes to matters like the rapture and stuff like that, because the Bible ain't clear about how that works. It's just not clear about it. So you can't bank your eternal soul on something the Bible ain't clear on, assuming it's biblical. Like, yeah, like, is a rapture biblical? Yes, it is. But in what order is taking place? Like, you know, you can't read the Bible and get that out of the Bible. Like, in fact, you know what I see in the Bible? All throughout the Bible, the children of God, the men God used, the prophets, the apostles, all suffered tribulation and persecution. All the prophets killed for their faith because they stood for their faith. The apostles killed for their faith because they stood for their faith. And you get a pass? You get a pass. The prophets couldn't wait to live during this time because this is the time when we can glorify God the most. Man, you could do so much for the Lord in an environment like this. It's all about to be flipped upside down, and everybody who had their head in the sand, who had their head in nothing but Facebook and arguing and whose fault everything is and what he said and she said and what he did and she did, and man, everybody who had their head outside of just getting prepared is going to be caught off guard. I tell everybody, man, you better make sure you really know that you know God before all of this take place. The economy going to collapse. Everybody who never struggled before is about to really, man, like you're going to struggle harder than people that ever always struggled. You know why? Because you don't even know what to do during the struggle. Like you don't know what to do when the power grid go down and water stop running. You don't know what to do when the economy collapses and you ain't got a job to depend on no more. But you ain't never had to walk in your life. You always had a car. You ain't never had to light a candle just to get to your bathroom. Like you don't even know what it's like to live on $1 a day. All you can afford is bananas. And a pack of peanuts. And that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long. I ain't like maybe not $1 a day, but you know what I mean. A lot of y'all, man, y'all got the pleasure of eating whatever you got a taste for. I eat what I got a taste for. Yeah, a lot of y'all gonna be caught off guard when nothing you got a taste for is left in the store. In fact, ain't no stores left. All they trying to do is bring order out of chaos. They flip everything upside down and then take your freedom away just to say, hey, if we want to get back to normal, surrender your freedom. Back to normal. Everybody can't wait to go back to another baseball game. Oh man, I just can't wait to see another football game. I can't wait to go back to a movie theater. And we just got to do what we got to do to get back to normal. Oh, this is coming again. Y'all. And y'all think it's a game. This is coming again. Get your heart right with God. Forgive people. And sometimes forgiving people can seem so hard. I ain't lying to you. And we can make it sound so easy. It's not hard. Just forgive them. But how? Just let it go. But what if it still bothers me? What if I do everything I can to let it go and it still bothers me? Like, what if I don't know how to stop thinking about what they said about me or did to me? Man, when all hell break loose, you're gonna see a lot of different things happen. People blaming each other. Well, I could have had my life together if it wasn't for you. I would have never been in this position if it wasn't for you. Man, get away from people. If they somebody you see yourself being able to blame for why you can't do what you need to do, just get away from them. A lot of people are sent in your life to make sure you don't make it. And if God have it be so that you do make it, they at least sent in your life to make sure you never become useful to God in the way that he called you to be. A lot of people are like that. Like a lot of people are sent in your life for that purpose. Think it not strange. And you're going to hear a lot of people saying, I've been wanting to say this right here. Before I talk about anything else, this is something I've been wanting to say, right? A lot of us take the gospel for granted. A lot of people take the gospel for absolute granted. But people ain't gonna be taking the gospel for granted no more. You're gonna have a lot of people who claim to know God are gonna fall away from God because they really didn't, but they knew about prosperity gospel. And that prosperity gospel stuff is gonna fail everybody. When even those who prospered can't prosper. I mean, the rich is always gonna get richer. And the people that never really knew anything about religion and church stuff, they're gonna be looking for an answer. A lot of people are gonna be looking for an answer, and a lot of people are gonna fall away from God all at the same time. I mean, we can call it a great revival, but it's also a great falling away. It is gonna be an even exchange. All the dead weight is gonna fall off, and all the good weight is gonna come in. A lot of people gonna be looking for an answer. Serve God now. Let people know who they could come talk to before all this stuff take place. You want to know stuff about the Bible? Come talk to me. And go talk to God. Go get your own Bible. I might not have enough oil to share at some point in time. I had to learn to quit striding with people. Stop arguing about scriptures and going back and forth with people about stuff. Those people that want to make fun of godly things, let them. Those people that want to talk bad about the Bible and Jesus Christ, and hey, I contend for the faith, but I ain't gonna stride with you. Those people that want to burden you down with matters that don't matter, just forget it. Like, you don't got time for this. A lot of people take the gospel for granted, but when this all take place, it's gonna be a lot of people you thought would never want to come to Christ. They gonna be looking for an answer. I need an answer. I need hope. I need to know something. Life as I know it came crumbling down. And all this time they didn't care anything about trusting in God, and now everything they trusted in failed them, and all they got is God. No, it ain't funny. No, it ain't what they get. At least they asking for an answer. You got a lot of people, that's what y'all get. Y'all trusted in this world, and now look. No, man, don't have no personality like that. That's evil. That's what y'all get stuff. Yeah, like it is what they get, but dang, you ain't got to rub it in. And just give them the gospel. Yeah, you invited them to church over and over and over. They always had something better to do. Heck, in church ain't the answer neither. Because a lot of churches give you the wrong answer. The only answer is Jesus Christ. And you can get that answer from Jesus Christ. And you can get led to Jesus Christ by the ones who know him. I know him. I don't care what nobody say. I know him. And I ain't here to prove that to nobody neither. All I can do is say it. If my yes or my no ain't enough, anything other than that comes from the devil. Is going to be a lot of people that want to live their life at your expense. It's going to be a lot of users. A lot of people that want to get close to you just to take what you got. All because they don't want to go to God for themselves. Man, you ain't going to be able to trust nobody. But as long as you trust in God, he'll tell you who to trust. And you still don't trust him. You just trust God. If they screw me over, maybe it was meant to be. If they play me to the left, maybe it was meant for them to, try and get away with doing evil, and it failed on them and backfired, and here they go again needing you. And now they know not to do a son of God that way. If that's what it takes for them to take the gospel serious, hey man, you just the tool God used for him to, get them to come to themselves. And a lot of us right now are the tools God used to get other people to come to themselves, and we go through hell over it sometime. You know what I'm saying? He might have to use you to disappoint somebody. Also, that somebody can know Jesus is the answer, not me. Heck, you tried to tell them, I'm not your answer. It's Christ. A lot of people ain't gonna be happy. It's gonna be a chaotic world. And you've been dealing with chaotic people since you got saved. You've been getting prepared for something. Like it seemed like no matter where you go and who you deal with, it's all the same spirit. Why? It's all meant for your spiritual growth. God is preparing you for exactly what he wants you to do when it's do or die. See, right now, it ain't necessarily do or die right now. A lot of people's mistakes right now, they can recover from. But in those days, one slip up and that could be your life or your soul. All it's going to take is for you to justify some evil one time, and that could be your life or your soul. Not hearing the voice of the Holy Ghost or not listening when you do, that could be the difference between your life or your soul. Not reading the Bible to know what it says can be the cause of why you think some things ain't really all that bad or all that wrong. And that could be the difference between the life or your soul. Man, see, look, the truth is going to set you free. I found myself striding with people a lot, man. Always trying to prove to them the right way. And it was wearing me out, bro. Draining the oil in my lamp. Some telling me, well, maybe it'll be the Christian thing to do to. And then I read the Bible and it said the man of God must not stride. I'm like, you know what? I've been fooling myself. I've been going back and forth with these people all this time, and really I ain't even supposed to do that. I knew something was wrong with that anyway. I'm sitting here having my convictions being used against me. Well, you supposed to forgive, you supposed to forgive, you supposed to forgive, so let me screw you over again. And people come back around as if they changed, and really they just acting different for the time being. Man, once you get one or two bad run-ins with somebody, man, it's like, yeah, forgive them, but you ain't got time, dude. If every time you go to the same old place, it's the same old story, I guess that's just what it is. Like, we ain't got a lot of time for a lot of stuff no more, y'all. Everybody just want to live their best life right now. We ain't got one. I would rather lose my life now, and I'd rather lose my life to save it than to save my life and lose it. For real. I spend the vast majority of my time preparing for them days, getting some things in order. Like, man, it's especially my soul, the soul of my kids, making sure they know about the mark of the beast and the end of days and all that kind of stuff. Like, they need to know that. They interested. They hear about that stuff. They like, what? Hey, make sure you let your kids know. But at the same time, the Bible said that the daughter will offer up mother and betray mother. Parents will turn on their children and offer them up to death because why? Well, he won't take the mark, so that way we can have food, and I'm tired of starving. I don't believe in all this trust in God stuff. I want to eat what I want. I want to go out with my friends. I want to live my best life. I want to go to the game. I want to go to the movies. And we can't do any of that because he won't take the mark. See, I'm making this sound realistic to people. Realistic. I'm tired of eating vegetables from the garden every day. I want to buy some chicken. And he won't take the mark. And I got to suffer over it. Wives will do that to husbands. Husbands will do that to wives. I mean, you got to watch out for them people that's already been giving you the red flags. The people that's already been siding with your enemies will be the last to take your back, and they should be the first ones with it. Every time you ain't around, it's all these evil things about you, but then when you are, it's a smile and a hi. It's like, and people can't hide what they really feel about you. They just look like they feel a certain way about you, and they can do everything in their power not to act like that. And the Holy Ghost is sitting there telling you, hey, they don't like you. Hey, he don't like you. Hey, she don't like you. All you gotta do is look at the body language. Look at the body language. Look at the body language. Look. Look at this. All right, look, you still don't believe me, right? Why don't you go over there and ask them how they doing? Watch how quickly they dismiss you and try so hard to smile. No, you think it's a game, don't you? All right, well, keep fooling with them. Like it'll be your life next. And then next thing you know, you're getting threats. You're like, oh, yeah, you was right. See, now you should just listen to me. Hey, you go into work. Hey, you about to get fired. Watch, I bet you about to get fired. They heard what you said yesterday about, calling this or that a sin and against the will of God. They heard you say that. But watch, you about to get fired. All you got to do is show up late. All you got to do is show up 4 minutes late. Everybody else show up late, but I bet you show up late, you get fired. But they want you going anyway. Then here you go. Next thing you know, a train get in your way. Now you're late. After the Lord just put that on your heart, just show up 4 minutes late. I guarantee you. Now here's a train. And guess what? You walk in, it's exactly 4 minutes late. You're like, okay, Lord, what did you trying to say? Fired. See, all I'm trying to do is get you to put your trust in hearing my voice. Hey, it happened like that, man. Like, it really do work that way. I've seen that stuff happen in my own personal life numerous times. Like, you mean to tell me what's exactly in your thought life? Something you can't just make happen. Something you ain't done nothing to deserve. It's what literally happened for real. Like the moment you sitting there thinking it. And you ain't got no hints or clues around you at this present moment of thinking it or thinking it. Really, you hearing it from God. You ain't got no tangible evidence to even point at why you think that. And it actually happened for real. Come on, man. The voice of God is real. I don't care what nobody say. And no, the Lord ain't got a word for you to tell everybody all the time either. Stay away from people that always got some, oh, this is what I got from the Lord today, everyone. No, they just coming up with that. The prophet Isaiah had one book in the Bible. That's it. Y'all got like 19, 20 books every month. Every time I turn around, you got a new prophecy from the Lord. Now you hearing from the devil. Or you making that, or you prophesying out of your own heart. Stay away from them people. Those the people that's going to say, the Lord said this isn't the mark of the beast. It's totally fine, everyone. You don't have to be under bondage. But the Lord desires that we don't live under bondage. Oh, this isn't the mark, everyone. We always think everything's the mark. And I got a word from the Lord. He wants you to be free. No, he don't want you to lose your life over something that's not the mark. Because we serve the living God who wants us to live. And this man over here who just wants world peace, look, who's doing signs and wonders and calling down fire from heaven and telling us to take his mark or the number of his name. And no, it might not be called that literally, but it'll be that literally, but it won't necessarily be called that. Yeah, and this guy, he's a living God. See, right here in the Bible, living God. He's alive and he's apparently a God. Man, people gonna find ways to spiritualize their way into serving the devil. I guarantee you they are. I guarantee you they are. And it's so easy to do that too, man. All you gotta be is like an extremist kind of person. See, I'm more of like a middleman. Like I'm in the middle of the road about a whole lot of stuff. I'm not a gray area man, because I know what's written and I know what we should or should not do. But I'm more so in the middle of the road. I'm not trying to, be a part of no denomination. I ain't trying to identify with no particular group or set or just anything like that. Like, I don't want to be another copy of the preachers I see on TV. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be somewhere in the middle about a lot of stuff, man. That'll help you see the road a little bit more clear. Don't be too liberal about your faith or just way too conservative about your faith. But being too liberal will damn you. And being way too conservative, you can be used to damn others or put others in bondage. But liberty without responsibility will lead you to bondage. But everything is about being liberal these days. Oh, liberals, 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 liberals. It's the liberals, it's the liberals, the liberals. Oh, the Lord told me that abortion's not a sin. And it's like, you know what, man, you can go to hell with that if you want to. Not me. I tell people straight up like that, you can go to hell with that if you want to, but you ain't gonna get me to believe all that. People be looking at me like, who are you to judge me? I ain't judging you. I'm saying if you want to go to hell with that, you can. I'm not saying you are gonna go. Heck, for all I know, you can commit that sin but realize I was right and repent and make it in. I'm not here to tell anybody who will go to hell or won't. I still believe in the grace and mercy of God. Like, I still believe in that. I believe in the mercy of God for me, so I believe in the mercy of God for everybody else too. I believe in the gospel that saved my soul, so I believe in the gospel can save everybody else's soul too. I was stupid. Heck, I've done stupid stuff after salvation. Stuff even a sinner would have been able to call stupid. Like, man, you just being stupid. This has got to be the Christian thing to do. You come to find out you were just crazy. Like, oh Lord. And it's like, I had to find a way to work on you, man. I had to let you do that to bump your head, because there ain't a whole lot of ways you could have been told and actually believe it. You had to go through it. You had to go through it. Some stuff you got to go through. Everything you can't just be told. You got to go through, But when that great day get here, man, you better make sure you know what you know already. You better make sure you know what is evil and what ain't. And because when them days come around, all it's going to take is for you to ignore everybody who's telling you the right thing. All because why? It just sound too hard. Or maybe God ain't that kind of person. Or it just don't take all that to get into heaven. We still got the grace of God, right, guys? Man, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Like, for real. But other than that, y'all, it's about time for me to get on out of here. I gotta go get me something to eat, because I'm starving. I did a nice good hard day's work, including having him ripping to run the city for supplies and all this other stuff. I got me a new respirator finally. I'm so happy about that. I can't smell no epoxy, no wood dust, no none of that stuff through this boy. My last respirator, I mean, it was almost like this, but it was like a homeowner grade one. It was more of a gray one, not a bluish one. And I mean, it served its purpose for a while, but it started deteriorating. Parts was missing off of it. I just couldn't trust it no more. I had to get rid of it. I'm about to sand down all this wood. Hey, not to mention I do resin down too, so like, you know, I just got to make sure I'm all the way protected, especially with this wood, because it's gonna be a cloud in this house. A great cloud of witnesses. Oh man. All right, man. I'm out. I keep saying that.